Fear of the unknown, the unseen grips the populace as a human being made invisible and insane by a potent drug preys on the citizenry, intent on vengeance. Prison walls cannot hold him. Scotland Yard cannot stop him. And while science works frantically, while a loved one waits and hopes, the invisible hands of a condemned murderer deal out death and destruction.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Heath.
And I'm Jay.
You're listening to Host of Horrors, show where we discuss and review horror films based off of predetermined themes of the month. Jay!
I actually stayed awake for this one.
He did.
Because this time I was not up since 2 a.m. or whatever the fuck I was for. Oh, whatever. whatever.
So,
anyway,
this week we watched the sequel to H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man, 1933, and this one was...
The Invisible Man
Returns! 1940.
7 years, was it 7 years after the first one?
Yeah, because the first one was 33.
And a lot could change in the 7 years that it took for this movie to get made as compared to the first one.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they got super ambitious knowing they can do more shit, so it looks more dated than the first one as far as like the graphics go, but then there's other things that are like, mwah, fucking phenomenal.
So you're saying that this is halfway a Disney 1990s direct-to-video movie,
no,
and half an actual sequel that responds and expands on the original concepts of the first movie?
No, I'm just saying like the visual effects. So like in the first one, they knew what they couldn't get away with, so a lot of it was practical or you didn't see him. He wasn't in frame.
Yeah.
Where this one, they had him in frame with the matting going on, so like you could clearly see his outline. In some parts, there were some parts where like actors would interact with his invisible body and like their hand would start going invisible. There's some parts where you could see the lines on the gun, holding the gun up, like the fish wire holding it up.
There were a few moments like that, but I think, honestly, I really enjoyed the story here a little bit more.
Oh, the story is so much better.
Yeah, I like the story here a little bit more.
But also with the visual effects, there's certain things with like the invisibility looks a little better. They use different things like claymation when it came to tying the rope on Mr. Spears.
That was claymation. I thought that was claymation, stop motion, same thing.
Yeah, and also the ending where they bring him back to visibility using the new blood. That was all hand drawn. So
that was hand drawn?
Yeah. So it's the same effect they used with like with the Dracula turning into a bat in Abbott and Costello. It wasn't the same artist, but it was the same technique.
Okay. That was a basic, yeah. You go, Walt Disney. You did something good for once. But honestly, I really did enjoy this film because at first I was getting lost in the sauce about it because I was like, okay, it looks like he escaped prison, trying to basically go back home, and then just it feels like when it comes to a lot of older Hollywood stuff, it kind of gives that a series of unfortunate events. It's like things just happen, and it just happened to involve the Invisible Man, and it happened to involve like, you know, Jeffrey just like roaming around, becoming low-key mad with power because he's gotten away with so much shit as him being invisible.
Well, and it's also hinted that it's the drug that does that too. So, but it's basically like the plot is Jeffrey, who is played by Vincent Price, is basically convicted of murdering his own brother.
Murder.
And in order to escape, he uses the help of Frank Griffin, who is John Griffin's brother, which they actually did a really good job. What's the actor's name? Frank Griffin. John Sutton. He did an amazing job capturing the same kind of energy that Claude Rains had in the first one. Like, there was a moment where like he gets pissed off that his experiments aren't working, and it sounded just like Claude Rains. So that was A1 casting right there. And Vincent Price is fucking phenomenal. But Frank Griffin essentially visits him in prison and gives him the invisible serum, the something cane, Ultra cane.
I keep on calling it Novocaine, but I know
It's not Novocaine. It's like Mica cane or
Metro cane,
something, whatever. But yeah, Vincent Price is now invisible, and they have to figure out who actually killed his brother. Turns out it was douchebag Cobbs, Mr. Cobbs.
Mr. Cobbs. And I think I just like the whole murder mystery subplot of it all.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of Hitchcock in a way where basically the Invisible Man is being framed for something that he didn't commit, but he's causing a lot more trouble. Trying to prove his innocence more than anything.
Yeah.
It ultimately worked, but it's just the fact that there are so many people on his tail that like he could not like rest at all, even when he tried. But luckily, with the help of his love, Helen, and
who again,
Frank,
it's old Hollywood, so she had nothing to do.
She had nothing to do other than exist. All she had to do was exist.
You are pretty and you exist,
and that was all that Vincent Price needed.
That's all. Sometimes that's all you need as a man is just pretty and existing.
And that's what I feel like. But I felt very entwined with the story because I felt it was a little bit more engaging. Because I think part of the reason why I honestly kind of fell asleep with the first one was, besides the fact that I was tired, that it just, I don't know. I guess it just wasn't as engaging to me as I usually find it.
You're yawning a lot. You sure? You sure this movie was engaging?
No, I liked this movie a lot. Like, I stayed up to the whole thing. I just really did like the way that the story was just more. There was more going on with the story, and the cops are actually a little bit more smart this time around, rather than just like in plentiful number, but like they all share one brain cell.
Yeah, so that's in large part to Inspector Sampson, who's played by Cecile Kellaway.
Cecile Kellaway.
Dude, he was actually very intelligent in this movie, and I loved that. Especially when like he shows up to question Dr. Griffin, who was the last person to see what is his character's name? Vincent Price. Jeffrey. To visit Jeffrey in prison. He was the last one there, and of course he's the brother of the original Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he shows up with a cigar. And before he even says anything, he's puffing on the cigar like he has a bad habit and just blowing it everywhere. And it took me a minute to like kind of register, oh, he's doing this on purpose. I see. And that was another cool special effect moment where like he blows the cigar smoke next to him and the Invisible Man's right there.
And you see Jeffrey's silhouette. And I was like, you smart man.
That was clever. It was really, there's a lot of clever moments in this movie, and it's funny. Like, genuinely funny. Like, not like the first one where I was laughing my ass off on how terrible some of the actors were. I forget her name, but good God.
Oh, you talking about old girl that was being like this?
Yeah. That one? God, could not stand her. But this one's genuinely funny. It has a lot of humor.
Yeah, for a monster flick, technically speaking, it does just really speak to like more so of the humor and all of this. And it's kind of gives me the same energy as, I don't know, actually. It feels like if there was like, it's like a dramedy, whereas like there's a lot of drama, but there's like a little bit of like comedic fare in there. And considering that this was around the time of, I think in the thick of the World War or right before.
44 to 41 is when we 41 is when we joined, right?
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, it's in the middle of the war, but we weren't in it yet.
It was like just before, so this is basically like a relic of like the pre-war kind of like ha kind of thing. It's like postcode pre-war.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it's like a lot of the old Hollywood old Hollywood comedy that's kind of in there.
Mm-hmm.
Very like slapstick, kind of rule of thirds. But it was very taken in a way that it was very subtle, therefore not as in our terms, cringe.
Yeah, and it takes itself serious, but not too seriously. So
Mhm.
like the plot itself and the actual fights that happen in there, they're serious fights, but they just so happen to have comedic moments. Like one of my favorite is when he's chasing Cobb up the little railway or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and like he slams the door, like he goes to shut the door, but the door pulls back open because the Invisible Man's on the other side, and they have like a little moment, tug of war
Like
moment.
a little tug of war.
That was hilarious to me. And then he finally shuts the door and like ducks out of the way. And then you have like 15 cops just surround that gate and just start shooting. It's
oh my god.
just little moments like that. It's just funny.
And it's just really funny with that because like Jeffrey is just like zipping and zooming, like this motherfucker is like fast.
Yeah.
And I feel also, I know it's because of like the whole Hollywood magic effect of him being invisible, but like with the camera moving as fast as it was when it comes to moving around thinking that is Jeffrey, it really kind of insinuates that damn, he is actually going very fast and is very, very fucking strong.
Yeah.
It's almost like the invisibility also gave him not like super strength, but gave him like enhanced strength and whatnot. So I'm like, makes you wonder about the side effects of the drug, besides making him go crazy.
Which does take an effect, and Vincent Price does an amazing job of switching back and forth. Because he starts out, very, very, like, his speech is very low. It's soft. It's sweet. He's talking to Helen so lovingly, and he just has a very almost melancholy tone to his voice. And then he starts talking about power and how invisibility, no one can touch him and everything. And it's just full fucking Vincent Price, what you expect from him. And it's just, it's beautiful. He does such a good job of playing the two different tones, the two different characters.
It makes you wonder, like, if someone actually goes mad with power, is it the drug itself? Or is it them kind of realizing the power that they do have because of this superpower?
Yeah, and well, what's interesting is if you would think that it's the drug itself that makes you go mad, why weren't the guinea pigs going mad? Because he had 3 guinea pigs invisible. No telling how long they were invisible. I mean, it could have just happened, a few minutes ago. But if they were invisible for as long as he was, a day or two or whatever, why the fuck weren't they going mad? So is it a power thing or is it the drug itself?
I honestly would say it's a power thing because, we are humans.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we as humans, once we're given an inch, we'll go 3 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeffrey went like 10 miles
Yeah.
and almost died because of it. And, I do want to talk about the way that some of these movies end. So I feel like a lot of these Hollywood movies, old ones anyway, they always have a happy ending. And it felt like this one was all like, oh, he's alive. The blood was the antidote all along. Which is kind of like, okay, I guess. That also confused me, I guess. It's because it's like, if the invisibility was in the blood, which makes sense because his blood was technically invisible as well. Okay, I guess I answered my own question with that one. Because if it's in the blood, then transfusing new blood, which is not invisible or not affected by the drug, can cause someone to come back to normal, especially if they lost a lot of said infected blood, quote unquote.
Yeah, but it also calls an effect that if he is losing blood, so if getting new blood pushes out the effects of the drug, that means there is a certain amount of that drug in the bloodstream that causes you to turn invisible. But he was losing blood. So does that mean if you lose a certain amount of blood, you would no longer be invisible?
That's what I'm thinking.
You could still have blood in you, but like not enough of the drug is in you anymore.
Yeah, and I also think it's like since he lost blood, and a lot of it that he could have basically maybe would have died invisible, but honestly, there's no telling how long he's been in there.
Yeah,
and it's how long the blood transfusion took for him to be able to get the blood in, that new blood in him, or how long that the new blood took to basically like go into the body and try to co-mingle with the rest of the blood. Fuck it, I'm not a fucking doctor. I don't know this shit.
Yeah, but like,
I'm just kind of like wondering about how all of that will work.
Yeah, I don't think, scientifically speaking, I don't think just pumping new blood in you is going to fix it. I think it has to be like the combination of him losing the tainted blood in with new blood. So like there's more new blood than there is the tainted blood.
That's probably what the case is.
I mean, it has to be if you're going to make any kind of logical sense behind this.
I mean, but this is why we're filmmakers, not fucking doctors.
Right?
Because we can make only so much sense of something as it is.
Mm-hmm. Did you see, I noticed it this time, did you see Chekhov's drop?
Really? What? No.
So, like, Cobbs is on the conveyor belt and it drops and all the coal falls along with him. In the very beginning of the movie, it's a very, very quick and subtle thing. But as they're introducing the coal mine, Radcliffe's coal or whatever.
Some of that first thing. Where
you see in the very back the coal drop.
Yeah, I saw that.
Chekhov's coal drop. Just saying. Yeah.
Do you think it was a lot of bit of foreshadowing for the insinuating events?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Part of the world building.
I think if you're just gonna do world building, they would have just shown, the Radcliffe's coal minery or whatever the fuck it was called. I don't know. The filmmaker in me wants to believe that it was Chekhov's coal drop. It was foreshadowing.
I think that could work too. But back to the way it ends, it just gave a very happy ending.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that was probably because of the current world they were in the 1940s?
Oh yeah.
That they're like, oh, we're just gonna end this very quickly with a happy ending, because it felt very abrupt by our standards.
Well, I mean, it's very old Hollywood in general. Like movies in the 40s always had a happy ending.
I guess that's part of the code.
Yeah, I mean, even the Frankenstein movies, as dark as they got when Bela Lugosi's Igor got introduced, it always ended with the new Dr. Frankenstein leaving with his family. So, it got dark, but there's always a happy ending. So, it was Hollywood back then.
Yeah, it was Hollywood indeed. But I think overall, this is an improvement, I feel like, over the first one.
I agree.
If not but not by a lot, by very, 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 not very little, but it's a slight improvement. The way sequels are usually supposed to be.
I think the first one is technically and filmmaking wise superior, but I think this one is better story. It's more entertaining. It's a lot more fun to enjoy. I think the story in the first one is very bare bones, and it was just the spectacle of showing an invisible man on stage. And I think the way they did and figured out how to make someone invisible on film is super impressive, and that's why I like the first one for how it is. But I think this one is a lot more entertaining. I don't know. I really enjoyed this one.
It does feel a little bit more entertaining, so I'm inclined to agree with you on that one. But I don't know, I can't really think of anything that I really disliked about it. But a lot of my gripes are probably because special effects wise or whatnot, or whatnot.
Yeah.
I do think that this is an improvement, so I feel like I'll give it a better rating than the other one.
I think I'll give mine the same rating. So I think...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a 3. So the same as the first one. But I do enjoy watching this one more.
Yeah, I feel like I'll give it... I do feel like I'll enjoy this one a little bit more. Because just for the sole fact that it's just, it just feels kind of cool. To just see how they improved on the concept of the Invisible Man. We even know that it has no bearing on the actual story, but in Hollywood, you just kind of come to terms with that, and that's just how it is, my man. That's just how it is.
Oh, can you imagine the people nowadays? Oh, it's nothing like the book.
Oh my god. Yeah, you'll hate literally everything from 1910 to 1955, maybe 1960.
That's nothing like the book.
Nothing like the book. And you know what though? I'm gonna expand on this way more on the adaptations month, but I feel like considering the term adaptation does not mean one for one. It does not mean a one for one reshot. It's not Michael Haneke. So you should expect that there are some changes that they would have to make from the original source material to script to screen.
Yeah.
So I feel like considering that, I think like The Ring, there was only the mere concept that was taken, and everything else was just very normal, very American, very just, as is. It feels like both the Invisible Man concepts were the only things that were taken from H.G. Wells, basically, and everything else kind of like, oh, here it is. It's like based off the characters from it. It's like taking the MCU and characters and just like putting them in different situations because, oh, you're just using the characters, not the stories. I mean, I know that.
I mean, they loosely use the story.
Yeah, they use it. They use it for the most part. But
it's not like the book.
It's not like the comics. But basically, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Like, people just need to realize that shit like that happens all the time, and you might be able to get something better out of it, like The Ring, or something that is just more interesting than possibly the original has been, as compared like how I like these. Like, these two movies I like because it's just like, it feels like it gives a different direction to the concept of the Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to just see more of how they take this concept in the rest of the movies we watch.
Yeah, because it's interesting seeing the evolution of how we view invisibility. And like the idea of the drug being mad, or is it us as humans that get mad over power? So it's fun. These movies are kind of fun, just watching back to back like we're doing.
I know, right? I can't
too
wait
bad
for
Barry's not here, because I feel like he would have had a lot to say about everything Vincent Price was doing, butt ass naked.
See, now, like,
this man climbed a tree naked.
I thought I wasn't going to bring it up, but let's bring it up. The fact that this man is sitting here doing all of these things butt-ass naked, like murdering people butt-ass naked.
He doesn't murder anyone. No, he technically never murders anyone.
He doesn't. He technically never does. Like, so he's like doing all of these like crazy things, a la like getting on top of trees, like basically walking through the woods like he's naked and afraid of some shit.
Oh, running through the brush, chasing after that guy.
And then after that, just like after Spears, that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically dunking him and like taunting him and shit, and just dragging him through the fucking mud naked. I'm just imagining like this man is just like butt ass naked, like dingling all the family jewels out, just trying to sneak around people and all of that. You're just like, if he can do all of that naked, then what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah, and he got on the hood of that car, because remember the hood of the car opened while it was still driving? Mm-hmm. So can you imagine like a bug just hitting your ass in the right way while you're just on the hood of a vehicle, butt ass naked?
What do you mean the right way?
Like right up in the sphincter. Like you get a bug right up in them cheeks. Just boop, 30 miles an hour, just bug.
Oh,
boop.
No.
That would have hurt.
If it... that'll be the quickest way to get some fucking hemorrhoids. Not eating spicy food, but imagine getting a bug bite right in the sphincter. Like, your shits are gonna be so bad.
Oh, yeah. Like worse, all the red bugs?
Yeah.
Like,
your whole, like, lower half of your crotch and your asshole is just gonna be on fire. Like, you may think you have herpes or, like, some kind of, like, STD after that shit.
Yeah, that was... Thinking about that's just awful. Ow.
But also imagine like having to scratch that itch all the time.
I'm going to strangle you. Hang on, my cock itches.
That'd be the perfect way to get into bottoming. It's like having to scratch that itch all the time because you're a fucking bug like bit you, or like you got stung in an asshole, like stabbed in a hole.
Mm.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry I brought that up.
Oh
All right.
my god! Oh my god!
Looking at this movie in a new light now.
Oh.
I'm just
No,
I'm imagining him chasing spears, and then he gets home and he's just like, "Fuck, my dick itches."
It's just, oh my god! I just imagine how the shower will feel after this. Because I don't. When was it? I just would need to know, when did he take a shower during any of these, or take any kind of bath?
I don't think he did. I mean, it rained that one time, but
imagine waiting till it rains for you to wash your body off after like running around on dirt, butt ass naked while invisible. Like, obviously he can still interact with the world because he still got shot, and he was still able to move all of this stuff and like torment people. Even though that was my favorite scene when he was tormenting Spears, but imagine doing all that butt ass naked. Like, how they wipe him down after like coming in? Like, did they see where all the blood was coming from, or what? Or was the blood invisible?
No, they didn't. They just knew he lost a lot of blood. That's it. He was just dying. They had to do a transfusion.
But
like
how?
They didn't clean him.
But my brain just broke. My brain just is broken right now.
No, that's a very good question. Hang on. No. If he's dirty, the dirt's gonna show.
You think the dirt shows, so they must have like put him down or like put water.
But no, just in general. The entire movie. You would have seen a walking bundle of smudges.
The dirt, I don't think would have shown though.
Yeah, it would have to.
It would have.
It would. Like,
because
you would literally
outside the body.
You would literally see like dirty feet and like dirty fingies and
would you
and a bug right on the ass cheek where it got hit.
But wouldn't you also you wouldn't see the blood because his blood's coming from inside his body.
Yeah,
so
the blood would be invisible.
Everything that comes from inside his body would have been invisible. Therefore, you're right.
When he puts that dusty ass jacket on, as soon as he takes it off, you would see everything because the dust is gonna stay.
But also, would it be the No, wait, hold on. What about water? Like, wouldn't the water be shown? Because like,
yeah, I mean, the water would be shown dripping off of him, but like that's.
But the only thing that really showed it was the silhouette through the smoke. So that's like, it makes me wonder, like, I think we're thinking way too much into the invisibility now.
No, I'm not.
But it's also like very like pragmatic.
100%. If I'm the Invisible Man, I need an invisible like fanny pack full of wipes, or else my invisibility doesn't mean jack shit. This power sucks when you think about it.
Yeah, because it's like, but they don't really show it though. That's a weird thing.
Yeah, well, they didn't think about it. I mean, think about it. I didn't think about it until just now.
But it's also like, all you see are the things that are on him, and you don't really see his body. So, like, you were able to see right through him.
Yeah.
Whenever he had the bandages on, and all you see was his eyes. So it's like, does that mean that, like, fuck?
No, like, if any kind of dirt gets on him, you would see the dirt. Like, imagine going outside, it's a windy day, and then boom, well, I'm fucked. Gotta go take a shower now. The whole power is useless.
Oh my god.
Like, you would have to have the ability...
Wait.
You would have to have the ability to turn other things invisible for it to even be useful.
But that wouldn't work because of how the
serum works.
Because it's a serum, meaning it's internal.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, if it was outside or like some magic, it probably would have been explained that, but...
Yeah, like Violet from The Incredibles. Like, I can see her being invisible because she can turn other shit invisible.
But that was a superpower.
Exactly.
She got from birth.
Exactly. This ability fucking sucks.
So basically saying that drug-induced invisibility sucks.
Yeah. Even suit invisibility. We'll get to that one. We will get to that one. But even a suit would bring up smudges. Granted, the suit is black, so not as much. But like, they bring that up anyway with the paint. Never mind. Never mind. It is brought up. Okay, so never mind. But yeah, it's brought up. So yes, I am still correct. Dirt would show up.
That just brought my rating down a little bit. Not even gonna lie.
No, I mean it's still an entertaining movie.
It's still very entertaining. But when you think into the logistics of it, you're just like, now hold on.
Well, now I'm gonna have a problem with our next movie because motherfuck, it's the same goddamn thing.
Oh, great. We found the flaw of the Invisible Man. Oh my god. We just found the flaw. Speaking of, since you gave your rating, I'll give my rating. I'll probably rate it like a 3 as well.
3 as well?
3 as well. I can't remember what I hate rated the other one, but I think it's like 3. Yeah, I was rated a 3 because it's like, it's normal. It's entertaining. Will I watch it again? Probably at a party, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I have fun with it. I enjoy it. I would watch it just to be like, yo, they did this shit in the 40s. What are you doing with your life?
What are you doing with your life and money? I mean, I get it in inflation, but I'm also like, money. You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do anything. I mean,
you can do it.
Look here. I don't need Rob Schneider here. All right.
I just need you to keep writing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We'll make something one of these years. But yeah, so that was The Invisible Man Returns.
1940s by, was it John May or some shit?
I think
or
so.
Joe May?
I have no idea.
Joe Malone post the hole.
Joe Malone post a hole. The hole is posted.
Speaking of holes.
It was directed by, Joe May.
I don't know.
That's a weird name. Joe May.
I don't know anything that he's done.
The House of the Seven Gables.
Oh.
I know that one. That's about it. I don't know any of this other shit.
Not bad.
What is the Indian tomb?
Something racist. That's what it sounds like.
Let me see. I'm looking at it. Hang on. I've caught my curiosity. Olaf Fon. Yep, that's some very white people.
Mm-hmm.
Anya Majan of... Yep, alright, yep. I'm gonna say something racist. Yep, you're right. Anyway, yeah, Joe Mays. He directed it. So,
would you look at that?
Good for him.
Good for him.
So,
yay.
And until next time, I've been Heath.
And I've been Jay.
And you've been listening to Host of Horrors.